So we're going to talk about what's called vertical angles. And what are vertical angles? They're angles on the opposite side of the x. Like here I have an x. So I would say angle 3 and angle 1 are vertical angles. I would also say that angle 4 and angle 2 are vertical angles. Now, what's special about vertical angles? Vertical angles are congruent. So let's say I knew the orange angle 4 was 120 degrees. Then I would know that angle 2 was 120 degrees. So vertical angles are very useful. They help us find other angles. So for example, here I have 4 angles. Useful fact, all 4 angles are going to add up to 360. And we also learned that angles that are what we call linear pairs are supplementary. That means 180. But before I start, I see vertical angles. I see this angle and this angle are vertical. So if this angle is 51, then this angle is 51. And then I also know that these two add up to 180 because they're called linear pairs. So 51 plus what is 180? What would that be? That would be, my brain's off, 129? And if this is 129, because they're vertical angles, angle Z would be 129. So now we have an example with algebra. So they say, and again, M means measure. The measure of angle 4 is 2x plus 5. So over here at 4, I'm going to put that this is 2x plus 5. And then they say the measure of angle 5, that's 5, is x plus 30. And then they say what they want me to find, the most important part, what they want as their answer is they want measure of angle 6. So they want what is the measure of this angle. Now in algebra, in order to solve for x, I must have an equation. So I have to set these up in an equation. So from there, by the vertical angle theorem, I know that 2x plus 5 is equal to x plus 30. So what number makes that true? There's only one number that makes that true, and I can't do that off the top of my head, but I can use algebra, and in algebra I would minus x from both sides. Trying to make this look simpler, and then I could even minus 5 from both sides. I could do two things at once, and I get 2x minus x is x. Cancel, cancel, 30 minus 5 is 25. Now that does not mean that angle 4 is 25 degrees. That does not mean that angle 5 is 25 degrees. That just means the value of x is 25. So let's plug in 2 times x plus 5. 2 times 25 is 50 plus 5 is 55 degrees. Now I really hope I get 55 over here, or else I messed up. 25 plus 30 is also 55 degrees. So I just found that angle 4 is 55, and then I know that angle 4 and 6 are what we call linear pairs. They're supplementary. They add up to 180. So 55 plus what is 180? That'd be 125. So I would say the measure of angle 6 is 125 degrees. So now what I want you to do, and this is review, is I want you to go through, and I want you, here's our vocab. We have the vocab adjacent, vertical, complementary, supplementary, linear pair, and I want you to go through and I want you to label what vocab word represents those angles. If you're at home, you can hit pause, and we'll go over it here in a second. So we said angle 1 and 2 are complementary. Three and 4 are linear pairs and supplementary. Five and 4 are on opposite sides of an X, so we call those vertical angles. And then 3 and 5 are on a line. We call those linear pairs. We could also call those supplementary. Okay, on this problem, I need to make a little correction. Looks like D is really right here. Somehow the decimal got moved over. So find X and Y. Well, that's going to be easy. They're vertical, so they're going to be the same angle. That's nice. Find X and Y if CBD, where is CBD? So CBD, I start at C, I go to B, I go to D. So they really just mean this angle right here. 63 degrees. Okay, if CBD is congruent, which means equal, to FDG. So where is FDG? FDG. So that would also be 63 degrees. So what is X and Y? Well, I just found Y is 63 degrees. X and Y are vertical angles, so X is also 63. So I could say the measure of angle X equals the measure of angle Y equals 63 degrees. Why? Because vertical angles are congruent. We did not even need to know the 72. If they wanted me to find this angle, I just take 180 minus 63, which is the same both sides. So this figure looked way more difficult than what it really was. Alright, so I want you to take a second. I want you to try 5. Notice they're asking for different information. They want you to find X, the measure of angle LAT, L-A-T, T-A-O, and P-A-O. So go ahead and try this. So to solve this problem, we need to find the value of X. And so the first thing I would do, is I know that this equals this, because they are vertical angles. And so I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to say 5x minus 15 equals 3x plus 1. You could have also said that 5x minus 15 plus 20x minus 15 is 180. You could have also said that 20x minus 5 plus 3x plus 1 is 180 because they're linear pairs. But instead of messing with 180, I think it's easier just to use the vertical angle theorem. So from here, 5 times what number minus 15 is 3 times that same number plus 1. I have no idea, but I'm going to use some algebra. I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. And then I get 2x minus 15 is equal to 1. So now the question is, 2 times what number minus 15 is 1? I could actually do that one in my head. 8. 2 times 8 is 16. 16 minus 15 is 1. But I'll continue to show the work. From there, I would add 15 to both sides. I get 2x is 16. Now the question is, 2 times what number is 16? Of course is 8. But if you need it, you can divide both sides by 2. And you get x is 8. So now I have x is 8. And now I can use substitution to plug back in. So now I know x is 8. So now I can plug in and I can say, okay, 5 times 8 minus 15. 5 times 8 is 40. 40 minus 15 is 25. So it's 25 degrees. Here, x is still 8. 3 times 8 is 24. Plus 1 is 25. That's 25 degrees. Good news, because those must be equal. They're vertical angles. And then plug an 8 in here. 20 times 8 is 160. 160 minus 5 is 155. Double check. Is 25 plus 155 180? Yes. So now I can fill this in. What's the measure of angle LAT? LAT would be 155. What's the measure of TAO? TAO, 25. And then PAO, PAO, oh, well, if that's 155, then that's 155. Vertical angles. So PAO is 155. So I have found everything they asked me for. I confirmed that these two add up to 180. These two add up to 180. All of these add up to 180. The 4 add up to 360 because they're a circle together. And I confirmed that the vertical angles are also equal.